Most people think Oregairu is about the struggles of communication, and we can try to understand each other someday. Oregairu is a show where people struggle to understand each other, where people are hiding their true self from the people they care about, and because they're worried that they might be hated for being their true self. Hayato and his friends are a good example of this. I remember that their relationship almost broke apart because they were all fake and it was finally being undone. But they got help from the service club, and slowly their friendship actually grows stronger due to the sacrifice of Hachiman. Hachiman is always known as the relatable protagonist for a lot of people. He's the guy who doesn't have any friends and who's quiet and very cynical of the world. But I think Hachiman has the wrong mindset in season 1. He doesn't care about what other people think of him, and he thinks everybody is superficial in their relationships, and he believes that he is alone and will always be alone. But slowly, as time progresses and his relationships with Yui and Yukino change, he starts to change the way he thinks, and even in the final season, he's still bad at reading emotions, but unlike before, he would sacrifice himself because he didn't care, and he didn't think anybody cared about him either. Now he tries to help in any way possible, and even when his relationship with Yui and Yukino is put into question as being a real relationship, instead of them just relying on each other, he still tries to help with the prom thing, and even he's not allowed to get directly involved with it, he still instead is trying to help Yukino. He challenges her to see who can make the better plan, but in reality he never planned on winning their fight, but he just needed to push the parents in the right direction by making a worse of the two options. He wasn't sacrificing himself like he was in the past. This time, it wasn't his reputation that was being sacrificed, just his relationship. He knew that nothing was going to be the same after this prom thing, but he still went through with it anyway, because he cares about Yukino enough that he is willing to sacrifice what they've built up. When I first started season 3 and they questioned the relationship between Yui, Yukino, and Hachiman, I thought to myself, well yeah, of course they rely on each other, they're friends. But then I got to thinking. I started to realize that the relationship between those three is really unhealthy and needed to be questioned quickly so it can be resolved, and they can still be friends. Each one of them relies on each other to get over their weaknesses. Hachiman is bad with people, so Yui is always there to speak up, for instance. Instead of him just growing and trying to change, they would rather just stay stagnant and never change than end their relationship. But that unhealthy relationship would have ended up hurting them all in the end, and it needed to be stopped. And thankfully, throughout the course of this season, each person has been forced to deal with their weaknesses on their own, which has allowed for huge growth already, even though the story is yet to be finished. The character development in Oregairu is amazing. It is very subtle but also noticeable and realistic. At the beginning, Hachiman is very cynical and didn't care about anything, but now he is very blunt, but he does definitely care about things. Yukino has learned to deal with emotion a lot more and to try not to be perfect at everything, and honestly, all of these things have made each of the characters a lot better. Oregairu is a character-driven story, and they definitely know how to handle their characters extremely well, which just makes everything a lot more entertaining to watch. Yui to me has always been an amazing character. I think the fact that she is always the first one to take initiative on things is amazing. And I love how in season 2 she reveals that she isn't just the happy, bubbly, stupid person people see her as, and she's actually selfish and hides herself. In season 3 especially, I think Yui is amazing. She's the first to confront Yukino's sister about the relationship stuff, despite the fact that she knows it's all true. Or the fact that despite being in love with Hachiman, she lets him go to Yukino, because she knows that both of them like each other. Although Yui is really good at reading people, and because she doesn't want their relationship to deteriorate, she sacrifices her own feelings and she eventually breaks down, in what I think is the best moment in the current season. Yui is the personification of strength in my eyes. She is able to confront people she knows are right for the sake of her friends. She can even sacrifice her own emotions for her friend's sake, if she has to, and she can do all that while smiling and being bubbly and acting happy. The one thing Yui has as a flaw is that she is unable to let go. Sure, she can put her feelings aside, but she can't let them go, which to me is one of her biggest weaknesses. A lot of people hate when a series changes up its art style partway through, but in terms of Oregairu, I think it works because the original art style felt a lot more stiff than the one used in seasons 2 and 3. The character designs look a lot nicer as well, and the overall, I think everything is a lot smoother. The music of Oregairu is amazing, and you can definitely feel the emotion in the music. There's a lot of scenes where you can hear the main OST and you just have to tear up, or at least a little bit. The music is actually some of the most emotional I've heard in an anime soundtrack. It is great at getting you to feel sad, happy, or a whole range of emotions. Oregairu is for sure one of the greatest anime ever made. It is emotional and the relationship between the characters are great. All the characters feel like they could be actual teenage kids, which is amazing, and I definitely recommend that you watch the series because I promise you won't be disappointed by it. You feel all sorts of emotions through the music and the dialogue scenes, and the character development is some of the best in anime because it's subtle and not drastic and unrealistic, so please give Oregairu a shot. It is definitely amazing.